What's up, everybody? Wild Whiskey Wolf, and today we're going to be talking about domed frame sliders. So one of the best upgrades slash mods you can get for your bike is frame sliders. And you might ask why. Well, you invested, some money into a bike. We spent a chunk of money on a bike. We want to protect it. So one of the best things you can do is get some frame sliders. But here's the thing, there are all different types of frame sliders out there. And the reason why I say domed frame sliders are the best is domed frame sliders have a specific shape. These are domed frame sliders by Woodcraft. I love Woodcraft. They make awesome products and they're affordable. And the reason why domed frame sliders are going to be better is if you look at the majority of frame sliders, they're shaped like a cylinder. A frame slider like that is fine if the bike slides on concrete or a flat surface. It's probably not going to do anything. But the problem is if your bike slides and goes into dirt with that cylinder shaped slider, it's going to immediately dig into the dirt and it's going to flip the bike over, and that's going to cause even more damage to the bike. So Woodcraft, they have these domed frame sliders. You can see the shape that basically if your bike slides and hits the dirt, it's basically going to just continue sliding. It's not going to dig into the dirt. It's not going to flip the bike over. And these frame sliders are about the general price of most other frame sliders. They might be a little bit more. So it's not like you're spending a lot more money, out of your pocket. And the thing is this, most of us, we spent at least, a few thousand on a bike. What is spending, 60 or 70 bucks on some sliders that will protect that amount of money that you spent, Instead of cheaping out and getting, $20 or $30 sliders for this bike that you bought, you might as well just spend the extra 20 or 30 bucks and get some nice sliders. So I'm going to put the link in the description for these Woodcraft ones. Not only are frame sliders inexpensive, but they're very easy to install. So this is something that doesn't cost a lot. It's not hard to install, and it's going to protect that bike that you bought. So, most of them, like this Kawasaki, it just has one large nut behind that shell, and you swap it out with the Woodcraft nut, and basically the dome slider goes over that, and then it has a little screw you can see right there that just slides through it and locks it in place. I know there's other companies out there that make similar style domed sliders, or sliders that have a shape that basically allows the bike to slide in more adverse conditions. I know Graves makes some that kind of look similar, but I love the Woodcraft. They're very inexpensive, and they just work great. So this is one of the best things you can get for your bike. It's going to protect it, and you want to protect your bike. There's no reason in spending that money on a bike if you're not going to get proper protection for it. So I'm going to put the link in the description for these Woodcraft frame sliders, and these are the domed ones. These are the ones you want to get. It's an awesome product, and it's not that expensive.